What's happening, people? Welcome in to the stream. I appreciate you hanging out with your boy here. What is it? It's just a Thursday night where you guys are. I appreciate y'all hanging out. I am just coming back from the physio. I don't know. You guys ever sleep wrong and then your neck is like completely like kind of crunched up? Woke up and felt that way and thought, you know what? I need to do something about it before the weekend, and then we're 7 days from the NFL draft as well. It's like, my gosh, things are so quickly approaching. But I appreciate y'all being here. I see WG in the chat. He says Zach isn't late. It's all semantics. That's right. Never late, always on time. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Like I said, what's up, Mike, in the building? Now, I would like to start today's stream a little bit differently. So I had this plan, right? And I think I overestimated how much time we have left in the year. My plan was to do one more video where, you know, I focus on what your rookie picks are worth. However, I failed to realize that next week's video that's posted on Monday will be probably the last video I post until the draft is actually concluded, right? So I had this whole plan to use, you know, all the information from this tweet in a video, and I'm just realizing now that it's actually useless. So I thought I would start today's stream just by looking at some of the trades that people have made over on my Twitter for their 2026 rookie picks. And I'm going to go ahead and paste that in the chat in case you want to, you know, submit as well. Completely up to you guys. But let's have a little look. So Nick, who is the editor of the Flock League channel, if you guys don't know, he made this trade last season, which looks like an absolute banger now. But easy to look back on that. I want to look at this trade here from Brandon. He says it was a small price to pay for the 101. Completely worth it. The other guy needs way more than just love. I probably would have paid more than for the 101, honestly. That's an absolute steal for the 101. I don't know why anybody would trade the 101 for the 102, 202, and the 306. I mean, what an absolute haul he's getting in return. And yes, that is sarcastic, by the way. Okay, so someone bought Brian Thomas for the 106. I like that price. You know, anywhere from like the 103 to the 105 is difficult to take that risk. There's a reward there, obviously, but there is a risk. The 106, I feel like you're taking on very little risk, if any at all. Sam Darnold for the 105. I'm shocked that is possible. Some of your leagues are wild. Sam Darnold, I would struggle to get any first in any year for him. You got the 105. You love to see it. Let's see. Any other interesting trades here? Someone got the 104 and Tyrone Tracy for Saquon. Definitely selling at the absolute peak there. Let's see. Someone got the 110 and Chase Brown for Nico Collins. I don't mind that. That's a relatively even trade, I would say. Harold Fannin for the 110 is relatively even. In a tight end premium, you're definitely going to prefer Harold Fannin there. Someone got T-Mac in the 205 for Zay in the 27 first, so that's not even a 2026 first round pick. Anyway, I didn't want to like waste all these replies, but if you can't tell, this gained some motion here, and there's a lot of people who submitted trades, and I just cannot use all of them. But I would love for you guys to go, and if you're curious what sort of deals people are getting done for 2026 first round picks, go check out the tweet. Like I said, down below, I think there are 78 replies, which is absolutely chaotic. But again, we are just 7 days away from the NFL draft, and that is going to be today's code word to enter our giveaway. All you have to do is like the stream and then type 7 days with no spaces into the chat. We will do a little giveaway today. Now, I'm not going to do a team playbook giveaway. You might be saying, Zach, why? Why are you not going to do a playbook giveaway? I'm not doing it because we are starting to pile up. All right, a lot of people wanting their reviews, which I love to see. I love that y'all are wanting to get some personalized advice from your boy. But I can't really, at this point, give out the playbooks because there are so many in the queue. I mean, typically on a day like today, I would have like maybe one waiting, And even on a day like today, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 waiting. And we'll do those at the end of today's stream. So instead, what we're going to do today is we are going to give away a trade question voucher to 3 different people. Okay, so that's going to be the giveaway today. 3 people will win, and we'll give away a trade question voucher for you to come on the site and ask me a question. All right. If you want to join today's Superflex startup mock draft, I'd love to have you. First step is to join our Discord. And if you haven't joined the Discord, I'll have Nightbot put a link in the chat for you there. And then right here in the mock drafts tab, right here is what I'll say. It will be first come, first serve. And whoever gets in first, you know, gets the spot. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that there. I would love for you guys to come join me in the Superflex startup mock draft. Appreciate y'all being here. 1 week from today, we will be in the midst of round 1. Round 1 of the NFL draft will be well and truly, we'll be right there amongst it. Okay, a little update on landleagues.com. We did officially release the beta version of public leagues. If you guys haven't yet checked out landleagues.com, the public leagues tab, please go check it out. If you're someone out there who wants to start a new league and you want to have great people be a part of it, if you're someone out there who wants to look for a new league, and you know, maybe we only offer like 1 league per week that we set up, but if you guys want to do anything outside of that, if you got an orphan that you need to fill, if you want to run a free Dynasty Money League, if you want to run a paid Dynasty Money League, I mean, you can even post a keeper league, redraft, best ball, whatever you're doing. And it's essentially an area where no, land is not responsible for the leagues. We're not collecting fees. We're not in charge of these leagues or commissioning them or overseeing them. But it gives you basically a one-stop shop if you're wanting to fill up leagues and find good people who are part of the community. I announced that here in this tab and basically said it's a community hub, right? Where you can post leagues looking for quality owners or list orphans that need filling. Think of it as a bulletin board for the Dynasty Fantasy community. You run your league, you set your rules, you collect your fees. Land just gives you a place to find the right people. So definitely check that out. I've already got some great feedback. In fact, I've already added the orphan idea that someone had. And I also added the region, because I know there's a lot of people who are from, let's say, Europe or whatever the case may be, and they want to run a league, but you know, they want to know when the draft is going to happen. Is it going to happen at night? Is it going to be in the morning? Is it a slow draft? Is it in the US? Is it somewhere else? Is it international? So all that is available to you, and I appreciate y'all hanging out. Okay, again, code word for today, we're going to do 3 trade question vouchers to 3 different people, as in 1 per person, right? Code word to enter today's giveaway, again, is 7 days. It's just 1 word, no spaces, and you will officially be entered. I appreciate y'all hanging out. Okay, let's jump into this Superflex startup draft. This is a, Superflex 12-team, 0.5 tight end premium. Let's just kick one off and have some fun with it. And then after that, we will jump into some trade questions, some team playbooks, all that jazz. We'll talk about the Kratos League. But again, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Let me know who is here. I see Papa Dunk, what's up, in the building. Wyatt's in the building. Scribbles is in the building. We've got Vincent here. Mills is here. Kevin. Ben Fried is in the building. What's up, Kieran? What's up, Dub G, in the building? I appreciate y'all hanging out. What's up, TD Vulture? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Okay, wow. I am a little bit shocked to see Joe Burrow at the 102. I have not seen that this entire offseason. The last time I saw that was multiple off seasons ago. But hey, here we are. It's fun to try different things, I guess. I will just say, like, purely from a value perspective and like the way that the Dynasty community currently perceives players' values, I don't think that that's the smartest move. You might want to try and get him in the second rather than the first. But You know what? If you're a, if you're a Cincinnati fan, like, I can't blame you for doing what you think is right there. Okay. Then we get Drake May, Jamar Chase, Brian Robinson, and Jackson Smith and Jigba. Wow. This draft is absolutely chaos. I mean, what am I even supposed to say? You guys are having fun with this mock, aren't you? We'll grab Puka Nacua here. I have never seen Joe Burrow go ahead of all those names. And I have never seen the 101 go ahead of Jahmyr Gibbs. But here we are. Imagine this was a real draft and you were drafting at like the 9, 10, 11, 12 spot. You'd be like, oh my gosh, what type of team am I about to build? Kev's in the mock draft. He's at number 1. Love to see it. What's up, Rich? What's up, Rock? What's up, Noah? Welcome in. What's up, Exiline? I'm probably saying that wrong. Okay, Malik Neighbors off the board at the 111. We've also got Unk off the board at the 110. Honestly, again, I'm so shocked that this post got like so much traction. And I feel bad that I'm not going to end up actually using it for a video, but I wanted to make sure it was still a good resource for anybody out there looking to see what their picks are worth. You can see, I mean, there's got to be over 100 trades here in real leagues where you can see what your draft picks are worth. Again, I overestimated how much time I had left until the draft. Dynasty says, this is going to be a fun mock draft. Let's see. It could be a fun one. Noah says, everyone's saying that Love is better than Gibbs and Robinson, so why not? Who is saying that, though? Who's everyone? Because I need to have a conversation with everyone. No disrespect intended. All jokes. Okay, so Hampton at the 203. So I'm going to start my draft. Wow. This is wild. I'm so perplexed right now. I'm going to start my drafts. Puka Nacua and CeeDee Lamb. Puka Nacua, CeeDee Lamb. Jeez Louise. Zom says, I can't sell Gibbs for Love in our league, so I'm going to let people think Love is better. Did anybody see Jahmyr Gibbs' recent tattoo? He's committing to the Sonic and Knuckles thing. Which, not that he hadn't already committed to it. But it's a very unique one. This is his latest tattoo, by the way. You can see the Sonic part at the top there. That is one hell of a portrait. I mean, I see the Georgia Tech. I see the Alabama here. I'm trying to figure out where maybe that's his like college or his high school uniform there at the left side. But yeah, I've got a similar tattoo on my back as well. So, can relate. All right. Caleb Williams at the 205. Jefferson at the 206. Bowers 207. London 208. So Zom is very heavy on the Atlanta Falcons here, as he's got Bijan Robinson and Drizzy Drake London. Got a report, by the way, that the Kratos League is officially full. So if you were looking, like maybe you were already an active member and you've already been in a league or whatever, and you entered for the drawing, that league actually filled about 2 hours ago. So I can actually show you guys all of our winners for that draft. Congratulations to all of the following names. You will be in the Kratos League. I'll be drafting with you. Me and Joel are actually going to co-manage this team. I'll be handling most of the drafting for him. But all of these names here, if this is you, this is your Discord name, and be on the lookout for a DM on Discord from Joel are commissioned for this league, he will hit you up. On Monday night, we will be drafting in a real league, a big money pot, $150 buy-in. It'll be chaotic, I think. I think it'll be chaotic. I'm going to make some moves potentially here before the draft as well. Patrick Mahomes at the 209. Trey McBride at the 210. Devon Achane at the 211. We get T-Mac, Loveland, Olave, Herbert, Jalen Hurts. Love the Jalen Hurts pick there in the at the 304. You absolutely love to see it. Hey, 612, we announced Badaki, what was it, 2 months ago? I'm not sure. But he's moved on to a new season of life. We're cheering him on. And you can follow him on his socials as he's pursuing like a new stage of his life, new career, clothing label. It's awesome. I love to see what he's doing out there. But definitely go give him a follow, guys. And the reason I don't reply to these, because there's like a lot of these, is because I hate like repeating myself, if that makes sense. But yes, you can go find him and follow his journey. He's doing awesome things with his wife. Okay, here on the board, I'm going to grab Brock Purdy. A little bit nervous about what quarterback might have fallen back to me. Might have been a little bit early for Purdy. Cool Man says, brother, what in the world is that last name? Which name are you referring to? Let me check. Did someone win a spot and they have like a wild name or something? Let's see. I'm trying to see who you're referring to. I don't see anyone here. I don't see the name you're referring to. Okay. We've got Bo Nix, the 103, Wilson, Collins, Egbuka, Ken Walker off the board. I am going to grab James Cook here. The bottom right. Oh, okay. All right. I know what you guys are referring to. No comment. Look, hey, a lot of you guys have some pretty crazy team names. All right. And I don't judge y'all. So whatever you do in your free time, that's completely up to you. You know, who am I to judge? Three running backs coming off the board in a row. Walker, Cook, Taylor, Dak Prescott coming off the board at the 406. Michael says, when did you make the hair change? Look, I have, my hair's been thinning and receding for years, pretty much since my mid-20s. So, I have been, like, this is how I've looked in public, like, with my friends and, like, out in the regular world, not on YouTube, for about a year. But I just did the reveal on YouTube. It was after the February campaign where we were supporting A21. And just finally showed you guys here on YouTube. Double Zom says, Zach, why is Dickhead trending on Twitter in Aussieland? Is it? Is it trending? Where does it say that? Did you guys see it on the screen somewhere? I see Luca, primary obsessed Mornington. Which, by the way, we should talk about these new Ravens uniforms. Okay. Rashee Rice off the board at the 408. Rome Odunze at the 411. We've got Love, Baker, Higgins, Brees, Chase, the 105, Bucky, Judkins, Bird, and Marvin. Yeah, this is perfect. I'll grab Jared Goff. I absolutely love that combo of Brock Purdy and Jared Goff in startups. Obsessed with that combo. No comment. No comment. Yeah. Only on Saturdays. You guys are funny. So let's have a look at these new Ravens uniforms. Like, I feel like no NFL team is really making new uniforms. They're just slightly like changing like the smallest detail possible. And with the Ravens, really the main thing that they changed was the collar. They got a new black helmet, which is cool. But it really is like that collar that's changed because it's like wings now, which is cool. I mean, the Ravens have a pretty iconic jersey, so there was a lot to risk if they were going to make a big change. I think it's a nice little refresh, but maybe we shouldn't announce it as like brand new jerseys, a whole new system. Like, it's not really new. Atlanta's jerseys were new, but I mean, not sure I like the direction they went there. Okay, I'm on the clock here. It's the 107. Harold Fannin. I'll grab Javonte here. I'm liking the team so far. Purdy, Goff, Cook, Javonte, Puka, CeeDee. Damn, this is panning out well. Has anybody sold Puka Nacua recently? Has anybody panic sold him? I hope not. Hopefully you are holding strong on Mr. Puki Nacui. Bucky Irving at the 505. Judkins at the 506. So Luther Burden goes almost a full round after Rome Odunze, which you don't really see often in real startups. In fact, what is their actual ADP? I'm curious. Let's see. Luther Burden, on average, the wide receiver 21 off the board. Rome's 16. So, yeah, I guess that's not crazy. But 502 versus the 509. For Rome Odunze, on average, the 50th player drafted. And these are in our land leagues, our real leagues. Luther Burden, on average, the 57th player drafted. So they are pretty much back-to-back. A lot of people would view them similarly, I would say, in value. Fannin at the 605. I like that in this 0.5 tight end premium format. Scatterboo at the 606 is risky. I got to be honest. With names like Saquon Barkley, Kyron Williams, Travis Etienne, I feel like you're putting a lot of risk there. I mean, look, obviously we all know if Jeremiah Love is not a Giant, then you'll be very happy with that pick. If he is a Giant, then you will definitely be kicking yourself for taking Scatterboo over Kyron and some of these other guys. Okay. Travis Etienne, Jalen Waddle, Devonta Smith, Josh Jacobs, RJ Harvey. That is Kevin's RB1 and 2 there. AJ Brown in the 7th round. So I'm guessing Team 2 here is betting on AJ Brown to get traded. Wouldn't really ideally like to have both of those Eagle receivers if they end up staying. But everyone seems like a foregone conclusion. Everyone's decided, yeah, the trade to New England is definitely happening. I'm not sitting here saying that it won't happen. I just, if everyone's thinking something, I'm not, no. Sometimes I don't like groupthink, so I'm just trying to work that one out for myself. Papa Dunk says, I keep looking out for Burden versus Garrett Wilson and who goes first in startups. I'll be honest, I haven't seen Burden go ahead of Garrett Wilson in startups. Have you guys seen that? Just because I haven't seen it doesn't mean it's not happening. It's a genuine question. Wow. I was going to go Laporta here. We'll grab DJ. We'll grab DJ in the flex. Coleman says he hasn't seen it. Papa says, crazy how early Wilson went over Burden in the start. Usually there isn't that big of a gap. Really? I feel like, I mean, well, why don't I have a look here for us? these are all real drafts. And in real drafts, Garrett Wilson's on average the 402 as the 37th ranked player. Burden on average the 509 in real drafts as the 57th ranked player. So there's typically about a round and a half between them. What was the difference here? Okay, again, not the biggest Bashul Tutin guy, but not opposed to taking him here all the way in the 8th round. So in this draft, we saw Garrett Wilson off the board at the 312, Burden at the 507. So that is a larger gap than we typically see, but not too crazy. What's up, CB? He says, did you see the video of Parker Washington crushing the best cornerback he's faced? Could he make the jump next year, or is he behind too much talent? His last 3 games are wide receiver 1 type numbers. Yeah, love Parker Washington. I'm a big fan of his game. In fact, he was one of my favorite sleepers, if you guys remember my rookie report that year coming out in his class out of Penn State. His hands were just so solid, and it's just taken him a long time to develop into something worthwhile. But those last 3 weeks, week 16, 17, 18, he definitely looked like he put a little bit of a hold on that spot. Now, my concern is you had no Travis Hunter. Brian Thomas was clearly injured. And then you signed Parker Washington to a long-term deal. Jacoby Myers. So I definitely think it's possible. I mean, clearly, I think it would be silly to say that Trevor Lawrence doesn't have chemistry with him, because he clearly does. But between all of those names and Brenton Strange, who is a target earner, I can't really say for sure. I do think that Travis Hunter is going to play plenty of receiver. You know, if Travis Hunter is playing receiver, it's going to be in and out of the slot as well. So you're going to have to split a little bit of time. I just feel like Parker Washington's one of those guys where if he gets time in the slot, he's going to produce. But I don't know that they'll make him like a full-time player. So it's difficult. I don't think Brian Thomas was healthy last year. You know, there's a lot of factors at play. No Travis Hunter when Travis Hunter was set to break out. He will play receiver whether you like it or not, guys. Brian Thomas wasn't healthy. You know, now they signed Jacoby long-term. Brenton Strange earns targets. So I think there could be some nice upside weeks, but I do worry about the potential floor of Parker. But I'd be willing to sell my late seconds this year to go out and grab a Parker Washington. I'd have no problem with that personally. All right. We got Derrick Henry at the 805. Travis Hunter finally comes off the board at the 809. And I can probably put my face at the bottom again here. Yeah. Travis Hunter at the 809. Bryce Young at the 810. Let's have a look. Ooh, this is a toughie. Wow, difficult decision. I think I'm gonna grab Mike Evans here. Now I've naturally kind of got that Brock Purdy, Mike Evans stack. If this is a start 10, hypothetically, I don't mind that. Oh, I just realized people were talking in the chat here. Okay, after Mike Evans, we've got Watson, Pearsall, Montgomery, Kincaid. Papa Dunk says, just looking at rankings and trade value charts, I keep seeing Burden right near Wilson. Okay. Okay. Isaiah Likely, Matthew Stafford. I was hoping Matthew Stafford would fall. But I'll grab George Kittle. We are very Niner focused here on this team. Purdy, Kittle, and Evans. If they score a passing touchdown and it's not CMC, then we've probably got double the points. What do you guys think about Parker Washington? What's his upside? What is Parker Washington's upside? Is it top 15 finish? Top 25 finish? Is that shooting too high? Is his upside, again, like best case scenario, right? Top 30 finish or top wide receiver 35 plus finish? What do we think? Like, what is the potential outcome of a Parker Washington? CB says, give me Washington over Hunter. I think that's just circumstance, though. As a talent, Travis Hunter is clearly more talented, but we just don't know how much he'll play receiver, right? Scribble says, I take Washington as current price in best ball in Dynasty. Papa says, in my opinion, just because Hunter doesn't get the most snaps doesn't mean he won't get targets. His targets per route run was still highest on the team before he got hurt. Exactly. No, I mean, you and I are very much on the same page there. I don't believe that there's a scenario here where he doesn't get any targets. I think we're very much on the same page. By the way, guys, we are doing a giveaway today. Can't give away a team playbook. I've got already too many in the queue, and the draft is next week. I can't have them keep piling up. But what I would say is I'm giving away 3 trade question vouchers in order for you to enter. Because we are 1 week away from the NFL draft, all you have to do is simply like the stream and then type 7 days, all one word, to be entered into the giveaway. Dub G says, was Kyron Lacey his best friend? Is that right? I didn't know they were best friends. Genuinely, I had no idea. That's interesting context. If so, I hadn't heard that before. Like I'm not saying I don't believe they have a relationship. Just didn't really hear about that. Scribble says, to me, it's all about Brian Thomas Jr. Operated as essentially a sacrificial X wide receiver. Drew close to no targets on the stretch, just running downfield routes and opening up the field. Well, what's your opinion, though? Do you think that that's going to change this year? That's the big question, isn't it? Right now, the poll is about top 25 finish is what people mostly are settling on. Some of y'all saying top 15 finish upside. I mean, sheesh. I mean, I guess in that world, you're thinking Parker Washington becomes Liam Cohen's Chris Godwin before Godwin went down with his injury. But I remember loving me some Parker Washington out of Penn State. He was a fun watch. He has like that running back body, you know what I mean, in the open field. Papa says, the Parker Washington hype feels like the Jalen Coker hype last offseason. Dang. Hey, you know what? Jalen Coker didn't stay healthy, so we don't know. The hype could have paid off, bro. Hype could have paid off. Kevin, what's up? Says, I'm a new Motherflocker land member. Should I wait post-NFL draft to send my playbook? Completely up to you, Kevin. I mean, you guys can use those vouchers at your convenience. Whenever you decide you want to use your perks, you can use your perks, right? There's no deadline. Like it's not going to expire, I guess. Do you know what I mean? Noah says, Wandale finished like 14th. Who's better between them? So that's a fair point. Like you're saying, like the absolute ceiling outcome. I think you would need injuries though for him to have that kind of year. You would need some injuries to some of the players around him, I think. Okay. A little bit of a shorter one for the startup mock. All right, the mock was a little short today, but that's just because it's a Friday for me. It is the weekend, and I've got a lot of reviews to catch up on today. So I wanted to just get a mock in, kind of see where everybody felt right now, And then also just get a little more practice for myself, because obviously we're going to be drafting in the Kratos League, which we just finished the drawing for the Kratos League. That will be drafting on Monday. It'll be a high stakes league. I will be in the draft and excited to jump in there. Okay, let's go ahead and do this giveaway. Spin the wheel. 22 users. Again, last chance to enter. All you have to do to enter is simply like the stream and then type 7 days into the chat with no spaces. I'll give you guys... We're gonna give 3 winners, okay? 3 people are gonna get a trade question voucher today. I'll give you guys like 2 or 3 more minutes to enter, and I'm just gonna answer some of these questions on the chat. Dan says, yo, much love for the content. First time actually getting to watch the live feed. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for being here. Thanks for showing some love. I appreciate you hanging out, my friend. It's good to have you here. Zachary, it's a great name. He says, would you trade Monangai straight up for Hunter given his current situation? I don't personally believe that Monangai is going to ever be like a feature running back. He's clearly going to have a larger role this year than he had last year. So there is risk there. But think about it this way. Last year, Travis Hunter was the 102, and yes, he's currently a bust in Dynasty after 1 year. But he was there for a reason. We know how talented he is. We know their intentions on how they want to use him. And meanwhile, Monangai was a 7th round pick. That's not me saying like Monangai is useless and he's not going to be a good player. He's a good player. We liked Monangai. But I think last year you would do that in a heartbeat. Obviously, things have drastically changed. Point is, I wouldn't give up on Hunter too quick. I would be comfortable to, I guess better way to say this is, what is the ceiling outcome for both of those two names? For Travis Hunter and Kyle Monangai. In my opinion, Kyle Monangai at best is David Montgomery, and that would be like the best case scenario. I don't think that's actually going to happen. Travis Hunter, best case scenario, in my opinion, throughout his career, I think he could be a all-pro for multiple years as a receiver. Like that's the talent level. It's obviously difficult with him playing receiver, but what risk are you willing to take on? Noah says, I sent you a 3-way trade. A few other leagues I showed that was the craziest trade I've ever seen before. Was it that crazy? Is this on the site? I'll have a look at it in a little bit if it's on the site. Nate says, should I be trading for Fab if Willis is on my waiver wire in Superflex? I just spend all you have on him. If you're in a Superflex league and Malik Willis is out there and you have $100 Fab, I just drop $100 Fab and guarantee him. I wouldn't really trade Fab for him unless you just think someone else has more Fab than you and they're going to spend the whole bag, you know. If you all have the same amount of Fab, do you think that anybody's going to blow their load? I mean, if so, then, you know, can you trade a 4th round pick for $30, $40 Fab? Then sure. But not everybody's probably going to be willing to pay that much. Okay, let's jump to the giveaway, y'all. Let's jump to the giveaway. We've got how many? 24 entries, and 3 people are going to win a trade question voucher, okay? So this will be fun because normally there's only 1 winner. Now we get 3 winners. All right, 3 winners. Here we go. Our first winner today is going to be... Oh, very close, but let's go. Let God. All I need you to do, my friend. Actually, I'll tell everybody how to claim their voucher here in a second. Let God is our first winner. So let's... Where is he? Let God. All right, we got you. We have 2 more winners, though, today. Our second winner of the day is Josh Fried. These Fried boys, they are brothers. They've got a high hit rate at winning these random draws. So Josh Fried is officially a winner. And we've got 1 more winner for today, giving away free trade question vouchers on the stream. And it's going to be Mike. Shout out to Mike. Always in the stream, hanging out. Appreciate you, Mike. So, everybody who just won, all I need you to do is send me a DM on Discord. Send a screenshot of your YouTube account so I can verify. And then tell me your Flock Fantasy username. That way I can go ahead and give you a free trade question voucher. I appreciate y'all big time. Let's jump into some trade questions, okay? We've got some trade questions on the site. Let's just get straight to those. You can submit a trade question or a team review tonight on the stream and have it looked at. It's the same exact link that I'll put in there. So whether you want to get your team review, get a team playbook, or you just want to get a trade looked at, it's the same link there in the pinned comment. Would love for you guys to get involved. Of course, the absolute best way to get a customized look at your Dynasty team is to get a team playbook. And the best bang for your buck to get a playbook is by using the code LAND and becoming an annual Mother Flocker member. That will give you a voucher that you can use in the Flock store, or you can purchase one a la carte through the Flock store if you're a member of a different promo code. You can check out that link in the pinned comment. Let's start with Sparrow's trade. He's got a couple trades here back to back. Would you send away the 102 and the 103 for Malik Neighbors? Wow, this is an interesting question. It's a 12-team start 10. Which side y'all got? Which side y'all got? You want the Neighbor side or the picks? The 103 and the 102 or Malik Neighbors? I think I want Malik Neighbors here. But it's close. The thing is, your quarterbacks are awful, man. Like, if you made this trade, you would be starting Chuck and Murray, then Hampton, Brooks, Neighbors, McMillan, Warren, and then you would need 3 flexes, which I guess would be Egbuka, Golden, I don't know. You're certainly not a serious contender at this point. Neighbors is the best player, clearly, here. It's very unlikely that the 102 this year turns into a Malik Neighbors. And that's no disrespect to Mekhi Lemon or Carnell Tate. But it's unlikely that they end up becoming like a first-round Dynasty startup pick. It's possible, but it's not likely. Bacon says Neighbor since the 102 is always a bust. That's funny. Here's the thing. I think I like Neighbors more than the value of the 102 and the 103. But your team is so bad that I think you need to take shots on this rookie class. I like the top 5 in this class. You know, you're not really in a position to consolidate at this point. Your receiver room is not good enough. Your running back room isn't good enough. Your quarterback room isn't good enough. So this is close, but I think I would stick with the picks. I think I would keep your picks here unless... Can you give them the 203 and they give you the 109? That might push me over. I don't love it. You know what? I'd love for you to add Travis Hunter to this deal. If you can grab Travis Hunter, it's a no-brainer. If he's panicking about Hunter and Hunter just becomes a throw-in, that would push me over the top. But you need a little more. You see what I'm trying to accomplish here? Like the 102 and the 103, you do not have a very good team. You don't have a lot of depth. You need to ideally, take a couple more shots. He says the one quarterback start 9. That's weird. It says Superflex start 10, so there's something wrong there. But even in a one quarterback start 9, you'd be starting Shuck or Murray. Hampton, no RB2 really. Neighbors, McMillan, Warren. And then you still have to start 3 names. After Egbuka, it's 2. And I still don't know where those 2 names will come from. Overall, I would like to add something else to this deal. Is it the 109 I get? We do a pick swap. Do I get Travis Hunter on top? It's close. I just want something small back. It's IDP. Okay. If it's IDP, then you're probably not going to get Travis then. I mean, could you throw the 203 back at them and get Travis? There's a couple counters I would try. It's honestly very, very close. The chat is very, very close on it as well. Okay, Sparrow back here again. Superflex, let me know if this is the wrong format. But I'm looking at Superflex start 10, Sparrow. You've got Rice in the 103, and you're sending them away for the 101. And if you made that deal, you'd have Burrow, Nix, and only Jeremiah Love. You'd have no RB2 at all. It would be JSN, Puka. Your receiver room is great. Gadsden at tight end. And then you would need at least 3 more flexes, which would be probably Nico, Brian. This is close. Sparrow says, he said I could do Nico or my 27 first and Chig too. Yeah, wow. I don't mind just, you know, just kind of cashing in on Rice here. Getting rid of the headache in a way. I wonder if you get something really small back. I'm assuming this is not his team. Yeah, there's no way that's his team. It's just all the quarterbacks on the site listed for some reason. Yeah, can you get something small back? Can you get back like a second rounder, a Parker Washington, a Travis Hunter? Is there something small you can get back in return? But I'm not opposed to taking the 101 there. I'm fine with the 101 side. Okay, Mike Betts Cook. What's up, Mike? I actually don't know what the question is. Maybe you sent in a new trade question. I'm not sure. The way I'm viewing this is what I guess, are you asking what would I send away for you to get Shedeur Sanders? That's kind of how I'm viewing the trade. I don't know if I'm viewing it correctly or not. But Sanders is a complete project. I don't have any hope on him being a long-term fit. So send another project. You know, can you send back an Alec A. Manor for a Shedeur Sanders? That's the level of player I would send back. Kamani Vidal, you know, Woody Marks maybe. I wouldn't pay much if you're sending if you're getting Shedeur Sanders. I'm not sure if that's the question that you're asking. There was no context included. Another one here. Mike would send away a 27 first for Trey McBride. Can't think of a reason why you wouldn't do this. If you made a trade like this, you definitely need a quarterback too still. But you'd be starting Genty, Thomas, Williams. You've already got a really good tight end room. But if this deal's on the table and all it takes is a 27 first round pick to get Trey McBride and a tight end premium, I would take Trey McBride and then I would try and sell Tyler Warren and Gadsden. Or even flip McBride again for a bigger return, because that's a very cheap Trey McBride. Boom Roasted here with a trade question. Superflex 10 team start 12. And I'm assuming the 27 first is not the 101 when I say all that. Boom Roasted 10 team Superflex start 12. Would I send away Travion the 103, the 201 for the 101 and Javonte? I would have a really tough time not taking Javonte in the 101 there. In a trade of this magnitude, I mean, we've talked about this a lot this week, but your second round picks, and I'm not even just saying like in this bad class in 2026. Since 2019, your second round picks hit at a very, very low rate when you look at like bucket values. Those early seconds hit at about a 27% rate of star status, just a 4% hit rate of superstar status. So it's not really in the equation for me. I think Javonte's drastically underrated. I have Javonte ranked ahead of Travion. If we're playing Dynasty, like everyone says we will, in 2 to 3 year windows, I don't see why I wouldn't. And yeah, I would happily, and I mean happily take the 101 in Javonte Williams here. Okay, I think we had a couple other trade questions that just came through. One from Noah here, so let's have a look at Noah's. Noah's in a Superflex 12-team start 10. He will be sending away Malik Willis, Judkins, Higgins, a first and a second. He would get back Walker, Hunter, and the 105. Let's really break this down. So I think between Jaden Higgins and Travis Hunter, let's just say Higgins in the second is equivalent to Hunter. Some people might actually prefer Jaden Higgins straight up. Let's just be generous there. For Ken Walker, look, there's a couple ways you can equate value here. I would say Judkins is probably equivalent to the 105. You wouldn't get Judkins for the 106. So then it's, would you pay a 27 first Malik Willis for Ken Walker? And I'd be willing to do that. Looking at your team, if you made this trade, you would be starting Dart, Herbert, Walker, Tootin. Don't love Walker, Tootin, but that's okay. JSN, Lab McConkey, and Njoku. Don't love your flexes after this trade, to be honest. And, man, I don't think your team is good enough. I don't think your team is good enough to take on this deal. I'd love to hear from the chat, but what do you guys think? It's a Superflex start 10, and if he's sending his own first-round pick, he only has Dart, Herbert, Walker, Tootin to start. Then JSN, Ladd. We don't know who he's starting at tight end. Maybe Njoku. If Njoku gets signed, he has to start 3 more names, assuming there are no injuries. Who are those 3 names? J.K. Dobbins, Tyler Algier, Jalen McMillan. I mean, I love Jalen McMillan. Travis Hunter. You got the 105, but I think there's too much risk with your team to give up your first next year. Without injuries, you'd struggle to fill a starting lineup, and we have to assume that injuries are going to occur. So my counter would be, let me keep my 27 first in this deal. I'll send you Bashul Tootin back and Jalen McMillan, or, you know, and the 203. Like, I'd rather counter in that fashion if possible. If not, so you were the other team. Dang it. I just submitted that through. So it was incorrect is what you're saying, Noah. Let's see. So, Noah, you have Caleb Williams. So, are you getting Ken Walker, though? Are you getting the Ken Walker side? So, if you made this deal and you're getting Ken Walker, then you would be starting Caleb, Dak, Walker, Swift. Not much better. Pickens, Jameson, Strange, Jeremiah Love. I like that. You'd be flexing Waddle, Myers. Okay. I think I would do this trade. Yeah, if that's your team, the Caleb Williams side, and you're getting Ken Walker, then I would do the trade. That makes more sense. Apologies for the confusion. All right, let's jump into some team reviews. What's up, Matthew? What's up, Matthew and Bree? We actually announced that the Kratos League was completely full of new members before we could even start the stream. So shout out to all the new people who joined the community. I appreciate you guys big time. But this entire league was full of brand new members who wanted to claim their spot to draft into the Kratos League, the high stakes one. So that means that we didn't have any spots to raffle off tonight, unfortunately. So, yeah. All right. Okay, let's jump into team reviews. I apologize to Dan, who yesterday I wasn't able to look at his team. There was a little bit of a glitch on the back end, but he did let me know his team name. So I now have all the information that I need to do Dan's team. And what did he say his team name? His team name is Almost Competitive. So he's actually the last team in the rankings. Okay. He says, another orphan I took over. Where to start? Okay. Let's see. Superflex start 11, by the way. This is a rolling deep lineup. This is a big old league, okay? A lot of starters that you have to account for. And it is a tight end premium. The website has your positions ranked 9th at quarterback, 9th at running back, 11th at receiver, and 2nd at tight end. Okay. And you've got some draft capital this year to play around with. You have your first in 2026. We like to see that. Don't love it when people get orphans and they don't have their first. Obviously, sometimes it's unavoidable. You know what I mean? Like, as someone who runs leagues, it happens. But ideally, if you take over an orphan, you know, they have their picks, so you can, you know, make it your own, I guess is the easiest way to say. But this is a big starting lineup. We have to account for a lot of positions. And you are currently starting Jared Goff, Dak Prescott, Jacobs, Henry, London, Mike, I'd say, Bowers. That top 7 is good. But in this league, you have to start 11 total players. So, you can start Metcalf in the flex. Yeah, I mean, you've got at least 4 flex spots that you really can't account for. And it's highly unlikely that you can use the 106 and the 109 to fix both of those problems. So, considering you're just taking over the team and it would take a lot for you to be truly competitive, I would say we're going to probably 1-year punt a team like this. Overall team grade as of today. It's not a bad team. You are towards the bottom end of your league bracket, but I would probably put you C-. Yeah, like C- feels relatively fair for a team like this. At least you have your draft capital, right? You can do whatever you want with this team moving forward. Your only untouchables are Brock Bowers. It's great that you have at least one. Actually, I would say Brock Bowers and your 2027 first. You don't want to move that pick at all. Players I want to hold on this team include Tyler Shuck. I'd also say Dylan Sampson I like to hold. Those are the main guys on your roster that I'd like to keep my hands on. Just kind of wait and see what happens with their careers. If you need to drop someone, you've got plenty of names. Zach Wilson, Marshawn Lloyd, Efton Chisholm, Evan Ingram. Those are all names that I would be happy to move on from. If you want to hold Ingram, fine. See if, you know, if his role, if he has a big role in an offense this year. I think his days of demanding targets are probably behind him at this point. Zach Wilson, can't see him ever being a starter. And Marshawn Lloyd can't stay healthy. On the waiver wire, It is relatively naked. I do think George Holani is worth rostering just simply because we want to wait and see how the NFL draft goes for the Seahawks. And there's a chance, it's unlikely, but there's a chance he could have a role with that team. Okay, let's jump into the war room here and come up with a game plan for your rookie draft. Because we are punting, I would definitely suggest to stick and pick with these options. So we're gonna probably be adding either a Casey Concepcion, a Jadarian Price, a Kenyon Sadiq. Right, if Sadiq goes in round 1, which we all anticipate, you could potentially be Omar Cooper Jr. Right, those are probably the names you're targeting here at the 106, 109. Later on at the 109, maybe you add on to that a Denzel Boston, a Eli Stowers if the right scenarios unfold, a Ty Simpson. Beyond those picks, I can't tell you who the best player available will be at this point in time. 106, would I trade the 106 this year for a random first and 27? I actually would. Yeah. I'd be willing to trade these picks for random firsts. Unless something happens in the draft and the 106 just drastically gains value, that's how I would probably approach it for your rookie draft, my friend. But let's go to the chalkboard because there are still plenty of moves that we can make. And the main names that we're going to want to move off from as we punt this year would be the vast majority of your roster, actually. Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, we would be okay to move on from. And those guys we would probably do in season. We would be wanting to move on from those guys because that's when they're going to have the most value when they're scoring fantasy points for teams. We can also move on from Mike Evans, DK Metcalf, Dak Prescott, Jared Goff. I think those are your main names that you would be looking to move off from at this point in time. So a lot of vets that people will find attractive, in my opinion. So in season for Josh Jacobs, obviously you want a 2027 first rounder. And if you don't get that, then you're going to want to settle for a 2028 first. But you want that to be, projected mid. You don't really want that to be from like the best team in the league. For Derrick Henry, we would take any first in any year. But assuming that's not possible, can you move Derrick Henry today or in season and maybe you take a shot on a Bashul Tootin? You would like to get younger in an ideal world at that position. If it's not Bashul Tootin, let's find some other names that can make sense. If not Tootin, how about an RJ Harvey? If not RJ Harvey, this would be great. Cam Skattebo, you can take on some risk with Cam Skattebo. That's probably the most ideal. And these ones you would do before the season begins as well. Okay. For a name like Mike Evans, we would take any first in any year, just like we said with Derrick Henry. And that's assuming in season he's able to, put up numbers. It doesn't really make sense to sell him for a second. It's unlikely that that player becomes important. Dak Prescott and Jared Goff are interesting. DK Metcalf, you're not going to get a first for. But what I would like to do with DK is move him for, can you get Jaden Higgins plus a second? Right? And then you send DK Metcalf plus a third, hypothetically. That kind of deal is what I would be pursuing. If it's not Jaden Higgins, then it's Matthew Golden. That level of player who could still potentially break out and the upside could still be untapped. Jared Goff and Dak Prescott, ideally you want, you know, future early to mid firsts for both of those names. And these are two very attractive, very reliable quarterbacks in Superflex formats. There'll be plenty of people who are interested. You hold on to Shuck, you build around him. The guy who has Josh Allen, for example, his team isn't that, like, rock solid. You could try and grab his 27 first, a couple of injuries, and you've got a really good pick there. Let's see. Just trying to make sure there's no other teams, no other ideas that kind of... Well, look, you could go the CJ Stroud route, like CJ Stroud in the 108, something like that, if you want to do that for Dak or Goff, and bank on CJ Stroud to re-find his form in the league, which is possible. Obviously, he's never going to be a top 3 finisher in fantasy football, but certainly possible he can recover. So that'd be my game plan for you, man. Punt all these assets, add some young pieces. I mean, in an ideal world, you by the time, let's say, October begins, you don't have Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, you don't have Dak, Goff, Metcalf, Evans. Instead, you've basically turned those guys collectively into like 4, 5, 6 first-round picks in total value, right? So that would be my game plan for you, man, and I appreciate you letting me look at the team. You will get your team playbook within the next 3 to 4 business days, completely customized to everything that we talked about on today's stream. So make sure you're going to be on the lookout for that on the back end. Okay, let's jump to James Winson, who I think is going to be in our Kratos League, by the way. Shout out to you, James, becoming a annual Mother Flocker member. I appreciate you big time, man, showing some love to the channel. When you guys decide to support the show, it's really one of the main reasons why I can put so much time and effort and dedicate my time to research, to video prep, all of that jazz. So I really, really appreciate it big time. And excited to be in the draft with you. Okay, your team name is The Hospital, and you are currently ranked 3rd in your league. Your format is 1 quarterback, 10 teams, start 8. So really small lineup here. You're definitely going to be more focused on your hammers rather than like overall depth in a format like that. The site has you 3rd at quarterback, 7th at running back, 7th at receiver, and 3rd at tight end. And let's double check. I'm not missing anything. Okay. So you are currently starting in a start 8. Jaden Daniels, Amarion Hampton, Chase Brown, CD, Addison, Loveland. That is 6, and you would need to flex 2 names, which would be Swift and Terry right now. Those would probably be the 2 that you flex. Not a bad team. I certainly think that you can compete in a league like this. It's a very small league. Would like to improve wide receiver there and maybe add another stud running back, but you've got really good onesies with Daniels and Loveland. I like the team. I think you are probably sleeper status at this point. There's a couple moves that you can make to be considered a serious contender, but we still need to make those moves first. Overall team grade as of today, I put you at a solid, like this feels very much B flat to me. It's a good team. It's not overwhelming. I do like that you have 3 27 firsts next year. So that could definitely raise the upside of this team. Your untouchables are probably going to be CeeDee Lamb. And honestly, in a league like this, small league, these onesies are going to make a difference. So I would put Colston Loveland here as well as Jaden Daniels. Just in general, I'm not really interested in like tearing down from these top names. Your Daniels, Hampton, Lamb, Loveland. Those are the guys that I would want you to trade for if you didn't already have them, because, you know, it really is these superstars that win leagues in your format. Players that I would hold on your team. Not a lot of holds here, man. I mean, I would hold Terry McLaurin just because you've already got that stack with Jaden Daniels. And I would hold Chase Brown at this present moment as well. Players that you can drop. I'm imagining your waiver wire actually has value. Yes, it does. It has a lot of value. So we can go ahead and we can drop Caleb Johnson, Trey Benson, Alec A.O. Manor, Tony Pollard. I know that sounds crazy. I will just kind of show you why I would do that and what other players I would pick up. And you can decide whether it's worth your time or not. With Caleb Johnson, you know, ever since they brought in Rico Dowdle, I just struggle to see a scenario in which he has some huge breakout year two, with him being the very clear RB3 at this point on the team. But on your waiver wire, I mean, you can add Baker Mayfield if you wanted as a quarterback. You can add Tyler Shuck as a quarterback too there for you. We've got Isaiah Likely. Isaiah Likely definitely should be rostered. I would say Chigakonkwo as well should be rostered. He is going to be a more attractive player once we get closer and closer to the draft. I mean, at running back, you've got Rashad White. Rashad White could be the starter for the Commanders at this point. We could legitimately have a starter there sitting on the waiver wire. Rodriguez is interesting to me. Jordan Mason is interesting. Downs, Coker, so many names. Mark Andrews on the waiver wire that could all be fun additions. And maybe you keep Tony Pollard until after the draft. You know, make sure that they draft Jeremiah Love first. Otherwise, you might regret that, to be fair. Okay, do we have draft picks this year? Yes, we have the 103, and we have some third rounders as well. On a team like this, I'm not really sure. I don't think I'd be that interested in drafting a rookie. I know that sounds silly, but I think my goal would be to kind of turn you from a sleeper into a serious contender. And I would do that ideally by using these picks to draft a superstar. Oh, sorry, to trade for a superstar. So let's jump into the war room here. Again, that 103. If you were to stick and pick, then you would have one of Mekhi Lemon, Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson. It'd be one of those names in a one quarterback format. At the 202 and beyond that, I don't know who the best player available would be at this point in time. What I would rather do is, trade that pick, trade for star wide receiver. And if not a star receiver, then can we trade for a star running back? Can we trade the 202 in a package to upgrade at a different position? And I would say the same for those later thirds. I don't mind if you don't spend a single pick in the rookie draft this year. And it's not me being a hater of the rookie draft. It's just saying, why don't we go out there and just try and, really turn this into a contender? Is this your team, LJ? He says, I've also got 3 taxi slots that are unfilled. Okay. Well, there you go. So, ideally, you can use that with, if you're not able to sell your 304, 5, 6, you can fill your taxi spots with those guys. If the waiver wire is attractive after the draft, that could also be interesting. But let's go ahead and let's jump in. Let's look at that 103 on the chalkboard, and let's start to come up with a couple ideas of, what we could spend that on. I instantly think James Cook is a great contender. You could absolutely use him as a flex or as your RB2, and then Chase Brown becomes your flex, right? And that gives you a little more flexibility, not only at the RB2 spot, but in the flex. Ken Walker is in range there. Jonathan Taylor is in range there. All those would be great options at that point. Now, you could also look at receiver and look at Chris Olave. We've already seen him produce, obviously, at a high level. George Pickens would be a great fit for you. You could really use, I know you already have CeeDee Lamb, but I personally would not be opposed to putting them both out there each and every week in a high-powered offense. also, if you were to purchase George Pickens, what could you trade CeeDee Lamb for, right? You could still trade CeeDee Lamb if you didn't want to host both of them. But I can recognize it's not exactly perfect situation to have them both on the roster. The 103 is also a place where I would say, can we put Pollard in this deal, tack on the 202, right? And at that point, what are we able to grab? Does that get us into Tet McMillan type of range? Probably not. Do you need to send a second next year to get into that range? I'd be willing to do that. Drake London range. I wonder if instead of Pollard, we made that DeAndre Swift. Maybe that gets you a little bit closer to a Drake London instead. But the point is, you don't really need to worry about, if you have 2 or 3 good flexes on this team, you're going to be in a great spot. Let's look at those 27 first, though. You have one from Amon-Ra, Jamar. So the 2 teams whose 27 firsts you own are really good teams. I don't see a reason, it'll sound weird, but for you to be a contender, I don't see a reason to be stingy and holding on to those picks either. Can you package the 103 plus a 27 first? Does that get you into Jahmyr Gibbs conversations? If not, Bijan Robinson. Does that get you into Ashton Genty type of conversations? 103 plus 27 first. That's probably, I would be shocked if you can't get into the Amon-Ra St. Brown convos, the Malik Neighbors convos. Might be too, Jamar Chase, JSN might be too expensive. But you could do all of these same deals by instead of it being 127 first and the 103, you could make for Amon-Ra and Neighbors 227 firsts. It would be 327 firsts, which would be all the picks that you have for Bijan and Gibbs, and I think 2 firsts for Genty is probably that range. So let's just kind of play this out. Imagine you were able to grab at the 103 either a James Cook, a Ken Walker. You were able to grab a Drake London or one of those names, and then you came back with your first round picks and you grab Ashton Genty. I'm just throwing out hypotheticals. So, there's a possibility here that you could have a roster that looks like Daniels, Hampton, let's say Ken Walker, right? CeeDee Lamb, Drake London, or CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, or Neighbors, Colson Loveland, and then you're flexing, the Chase Browns of the world. I think you've got a lot of capital here. I get it if you want to just keep those firsts for 2027. But right now, those picks can net you a pretty healthy return. Everybody wants 27 firsts. You know what I mean? So that naturally makes them very easy to sell for good value. And in a league like yours, I'm not that interested in adding a rookie. I just want to go out there and try and win the championship. But those are my main thoughts. Let me know if you have any final questions there before I move on to the next review. Want to make sure you feel good about yours. But it's a nice team, man. I love that core of Daniels, Hampton, Chase, Lamb, Loveland. You could even package like Oronde Gadsden as well if you wanted to. If there's a team out there that needs tight end. It's the problem in 10-team leagues. Mason Taylor team. They have Ken Walker. Can you give them Gadsden and let's see, what else do they have? They have the 101. Oof. Could you give them, Oronde Gadsden plus the 103 plus DeAndre Swift for the 101. There's a lot of flexibility you have with this team moving forward. But like I said, I appreciate you. If you have any questions, you know, just let me know here. I'll have a look in the chat and be on the lookout for you. All right, Lazy Bones. What's going on, my friend? Lazy Bones is a renewal membership. I appreciate you for continually each and every year helping me keep the lights on over here at Land Football. Okay, team name Superstar Saga. We're in a Superflex 12-team start 9. That is a small starting lineup. So we are going to be a little bit more focused on those premium players. And he says, this was my first Superflex startup, and first time in a savvy slow draft, and the league is full of the usual Dynasty land frequent flyers. The league is ruled by a Thanos squad, so competing is a distant reality for my squad. Now it's time to tank for 2027 plus go crazy. Okay, so I'm not in this league, I don't think, though. No, I'm not in this league. This is one of those ones where you guys probably came together and created a league. No impactful picks, unfortunately, Lazy Bones, in the rookie draft, so we're probably not going to go to the war room and create a game plan for your rookie draft because there's not really much for you to do there. But you can certainly go tank. I mean, right now your untouchable is Lamar Jackson, but I think we're probably going to look at making a trade for him. I wouldn't send your 27 first to anybody, though. Players that I want to hold. Damn, dude. You do not have many players I like holding. Malik Washington is worth a hold at this point, and I would say Jake Tonjes just to kind of see the progress of George Kittle. Players that you can drop, you got a lot of names you can drop, man. Gabe Davis, I would comfortably drop him. We can add on to that, you know, the Miles Sanders of the world, those type of running backs. Trey Lance, you can let go of. There's plenty of names here that you can move on from. Juju Smith-Schuster, you know, why is he rostered at that point? You can definitely let him go. On the waiver wire, I'm imagining there's not much, but I mean, I'd rather roster like Treylon Burks than all those names that I just mentioned. He's probably not going to become anything, but I'd rather roster him than some of those other guys. How about Tyquan Thornton? I'd rather roster Tyquan Thornton than some of those names as well. Okay, so I don't think that calling you a one-year punt would be appropriate. I don't see you turning this around in 1 year. I do think, and it's unfortunate, but I hate doing it, full rebuild is probably the direction you've got to take. I hate rebuilding rosters entirely, but this team's not going to be competitive in just 1 year's time. It's just not. Overall team grade as of today, you have 227 firsts. It's not a lot to kind of like go into a rebuild with, to be honest, Lazy. There's not the firepower you would have wanted on this roster as of today for future capital. Not a good team, I'll be honest. I'm kind of leaning like D+ range. This is going to take a long time for you to be competitive, and I'm not sure. It's just a toughie. But I'll give you draft capital grade an A-. The main names that we're going to tier off of, Lamar Jackson. I feel like you almost have to find a good tier down partner. Not opposed to selling names like, well, in season is probably the best time to sell a guy like Jaylen Warren, hoping that you can get someone to pay multiple seconds, you know, that kind of range. In season is probably the best time to sell DJ Moore. You don't need to sell Zay Flowers if the right deal isn't there, but I guess we'll add Isaiah Pacheco as well to this list. In season, hope that he gains some value. For Lamar Jackson, we'll look at that as a tier down. For Jaylen Warren, I think you would want multiple early seconds. I think that's probably the route you would want to take. For DJ Moore, we want any first in any year. We'll take any first, 27, 28, that's fine. And for Isaiah Pacheco, ideally we want an early future second. That's assuming like he full on takes over the David Montgomery role, right? Lamar Jackson, though. This is where hopefully our protein of our rebuild can live. So, wow, look at that juggernaut. This guy built one hell of a squad. Okay. So, can we tear down from Lamar? We need to find a team that has draft capital. Can we tear down to Jackson Dart? That would be awesome. Like, you might not think it's enough, but Jackson Dart plus Luther Burden would be perfect. I think that's an incredible fit. I'd be obsessed with that deal if you could pull it off. I'm willing to take that risk. I know Burden is not a guarantee, but I'd be willing to take that risk. You could also do Jackson Dart plus 27 first round pick. Is that enough for Lamar? Lamar's not getting the same price he used to, so I don't want to oversell him. I mean, I think the most you could get if you want something else in return is like maybe the 111 this year. You know, maybe, probably not, but that's how far you might be able to push it. Push it. Now push it. Now push it. Don't want to tear down to one of these older quarterbacks. Don't mind Cam Ward, but we need a pretty big haul. Like, it need to be like Ward, the 103, 105 range. Cam Ward plus the 103 and the 105. And then maybe we can give back Lamar plus Jalen Warren or something like that. Yeah. But I like that deal. I'm not the biggest Cam Ward guy, but you're adding a lot of cushion there to make that deal. We ideally need someone that has decent draft capital. Man, not a lot of good fits for you, unfortunately. I don't mind doing Jordan Love with this guy. His team is so bad. But it would have to be like Jordan Love, a 27 and a 28 first-round pick. Jordan Love plus a 27 and 28 first-round pick. Yeah, something like that. But you got to strip this one all the way down to the studs, unfortunately. You know, you can't really afford to pretend like you're a true contender. You know what I mean? Mike says, I'd send Lamar for Cam. I'm guessing saying like plus the 103, 105 straight up. Yeah. I mean, I get that. Okay. Appreciate you, Lazy Bones. Thanks for being a member for so long and supporting the show. I'm sure you were aware. You're a smart Dynasty player. Like, you're aware that this team is not in the best position right now. But good luck. I hope that that was helpful and that you're going to be able to turn it around here soon. Okay, Dip Munch is next. Which, like, is it Dip Munch because, like, you're playing on, like, the chipmunk type of idea? Or am I just overthinking that? Team name is Never Gonna Gives You Up, which is a classic. Our format is a 1 quarterback, 12 team, start 9. So we've got up to 3 flexes potentially there. I like that type of format in a 1 quarterback league. Your team is ranked 4th. The website has you ranked 4th at quarterback, 3rd at receiver, 5th at 3rd at running back, 5th at receiver, and 9th at tight end. He says, hey, Zach, I'm looking for some advice in this Dynasty League and some ideas where to go with my team. Okay. Papa Dunk says, don't feel too bad, lazy bones. Zach once told me my team sucked. It still does, but it used to suck too. Sometimes there are teams that you look at and you're like, hey, you got a long journey ahead of you if you want me to be honest. Okay. Okay. Dip Munch, let me know if you're with us right now, my friend. I am hesitant to do this review because none of your picks are assigned. You know? So there's a big part of this review that I might not actually be able to do because none of your picks are assigned here for 2026. I don't know if that's a very valuable first, if it's not a valuable first. I don't know where anyone else picks stand, if we're going to try and make some deals up. So Dip Munch, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a free voucher here right now. Please come back and submit again. However, it's either one of two things. Firstly, your team hasn't set the draft order yet. That might be what's happening here. Encourage them to do so. That way you can make trades in your league and you can kind of see on all these systems like the Flock My Teams page what picks you actually have. The second thing that it might be is you might be using an old 2025 sleeper league ID. When you go to the My Teams page, you can actually where is it? It's in the settings tab. You can add your username or you can add the brand new league ID for 2026. And if your picks are already assigned, that will update it for you. And I'll be able to get, ultimately, I just want to give you the best advice possible. And I don't want to do a half-assed review for you, basically. So hopefully that makes sense. My only intention here is to give you the best possible review that I can. And that's why I am suggesting to resubmit. Okay. We've got Cino. What's up, Cino? His team name is Jackson and Jackson. And he is ranked 4th right now on the site. Our format is a Superflex Start 9. So it is a smaller league with that Start 9 tag. And he says, I've been pretty set on taking whichever 2 receivers fall to me at picks 3 and 4. So I've been thinking about moving Rice, Ricky, as well as Harvey, Strange, possibly Baker, possibly Bucky, but also to get more draft picks, future picks, or to upgrade running back, wide receiver. We'll take any advice you offer. Awesome. Let me know if you're in the chat with me, my friend. We do have picks in 2026. It doesn't look like you have any picks in 2027. You can let me know if I'm reading that wrong, but vast majority of the time, the site is correct there. Okay, let's have a look at the squad. Superflex Start 9, you are starting Dart, Nix, Baker Mayfield's on the bench, Bucky, Chase, JSN, Rice, Loveland, and then your 2 flexes right now are maybe Fannin, RJ, Ricky. Yeah. Not a bad team at all. I wonder what the premium is. That would be cool to see. But I don't know, man. I'm not like a team like this. I don't mind if you just draft those rookie receivers. Right? Let's talk about it in a second. Let's get through some of this admin first. Your untouchables on this team, JSN would be your main untouchable. Colston Loveland is the closest second because of the premium on tight ends. Players that I would want to hold on this roster. Jack Besh, Terrence Ferguson. Those would be the main guys that I would like to hold here. As far as players that you can drop Ben Sinnott. Keon Coleman. Those would be the main two that I'd be comfortable to move on from. You've got a lot of tight ends there, man. Malik Willis on the waiver wire. He is definitely going to be our priority add off the waiver wire in a Superflex format. You've also got George Halani on the waiver wire, so he should be rostered in most leagues as well. This makes me want to sell Baker Mayfield and kind of go all in. Look, I think you're a legit contender. I don't see why we wouldn't go out there and use those picks to try and win the championship this year. I'd give your team overall like a solid B+ in my mind. And actually, I'm just realizing now, I'm trying to remember, you don't have your picks in 2027. So with that in mind, I would actually call you Windows Open as a pathway instead of a contender, just because I would be even more aggressive with this idea of not spending those first on rookies and instead making sure I have the most competitive team possible, because I'm not going to benefit from my own first, second, third, or fourth in next year's draft. I don't have them. If my team isn't good, then I won't benefit from it. Somebody else will. And I don't really like to operate that way. I like to, if I'm all in and I don't have my picks, let's be competitive. Let's try and win the damn thing, right? So jumping to the war room, you've got that 103, 104, 410. You know, like there's a possibility here that, you know, that is Mekhi Lemon, that is Carnell Tate. You know, there's a possibility that you get one of those guys and then you come back for a Tyson here. But based on what you've said, that's the likely outcome for those players. You can go BPA at the 410. What I would rather do is trade for star wide receivers and star running backs with that 103, 104, right, type of pick. And the 410 is not really going to matter too much, but yeah, man, why not? You know, why not go try and make the most competitive roster here, especially when you don't own your future? So that's how I would take it personally. That 103, that's prime range for James Cook. You add James Cook. I mean, we'll look at what your roster could look like if you added one of these names. Ken Walker would be awesome. Jonathan Taylor would be awesome. I mean, imagine okay, and then at the 104, it's like all those same names. Like if any of those guys are available at the 104, it's basically the same idea, right? You could use one of these picks on a running back, one of these picks on a receiver, but these are the running backs you'd be targeting here. At the 104, you know, names like Chris Olave. Oh, shoot. Sorry. Be names like, I'll say it's really like the 103 or the 104 for these receivers. Guess I could have done the same thing for the running backs. But George Pickens is in play here. Too expensive for Drake London. Too expensive for T-Mac. Garrett Wilson is in play at this point. We said Chris Olave already. Emeka Egbuka. Not bad. Nico Collins, right? So let's just play a hypothetical here. You get Ken Walker for the 103, and then you spend the 104 on Garrett Wilson, hypothetically. Imagine your team after that. You'd have Dart Nix, Bucky and Walker, JSN Loveland, Rice, Garrett Wilson as a flex, and your last flex is Chase Brown. That's a great team. Oh, and by the way, Harold Fannon's on the bench. Baker Mayfield's on the bench. RJ Harvey is on the bench. Kyle Monangai, Ricky Pearsall. I would much rather go that route personally. I also think we can look at a quarterback needy team and maybe move like a Bo Nix. Not saying I don't like Bo Nix. I like Bo Nix. I'd like to keep him. But in your scenario, I don't see why you can't just rely on Baker Mayfield or do some small tier down, right? So let's look at our options. Darnold's probably too far down. Kyler Murray, for example, would be perfect. Kyler Murray plus what? Kyler Murray plus what? So can we get Kyler Murray? Maybe this is how we get James Cook and Drake London or something. James Cook plus Drake London. Bro, imagine you did this deal. Imagine you did that. Right? You still have Kyler Murray as your quarterback 3. I mean, that's just an incredible trade idea right there, dude. You would be starting Dart, Mayfield, Bucky, Cook, JSN, London, Loveland, and you'd flex Rice and Chase Brown. I mean, come on. That's the type of deals I'm trying to get done. Just make sure there's no other good options. I don't love Jordan Love, and I don't like that guy's options to trade with. This guy has absolutely nothing at all. So that would be the direction I would take the team. I mean, shoot, can you get Jaden Daniels? Can you send Bo Nix plus RJ Harvey? I don't know. RJ Harvey for Jaden Daniels. It's close. It's close. Jaden. So that would be the direction I would take the team, man. I mean, any combination of these would be great. If you use the Bo Nix to tier down to a Murray and upgrade there, that's great. If you did Sam Darnold, I wonder if we could do last idea here. So it'd be like Bo Nix plus the 103 for Sam Darnold plus Puka Nacua. Now, we probably are going to need to add to that deal. And can we add a Ricky Pearsall? Can we add a Pearsall and RJ Harvey? So those are a couple other options as well. But I think you're in a great spot. I hope that's helpful. Obviously, you'll get your playbook within the next 3 to 4 business days through the Flock Fantasy Advice tab. And I appreciate you letting me look at the team. And I hope that is helpful, my friend. Okay. We are going to jump into the next review here, which is from ATL22. Of course, if anybody wants to get their team reviewed tonight, we have 3 different tiers on the site. The Tier 1 product is live by default. Tier 2 skips the queue. Tier 3 doubles your playbooks. And obviously the best bang for your buck is by becoming an annual Mother Flocker member. Most of you know this by now. Many people in our community are already members of the channel. Okay. Let's go ahead and let's go to ATL22. I'm just working out some math in my head here real fast before I jump in. Okay. ATL22. Team name is Drizzy Drake, which makes you ranked 3rd. You are in a Superflex start 10. So that is our middle ground type of lineup. That's our most common league that we see. What's up, Austin? Welcome in, man. The website has you ranked 11th at quarterback, 2nd at running back, 1st at receiver, and 3rd at tight end. And he says, I'm thinking of moving CD if it helps me rebalance into a quarterback wide receiver package, ideally quarterback wide receiver plus 27 first. Want to improve my quarterback room. Stay in contender range and stack more 27 picks? Or do I hold? I also send a trade Stroud plus 26 to 08 for Cam Ward in a early second rolling pick. Okay. Cool. Ready Time says, hey, Zach, I'm trying to figure out why the picks are not showing up on the team review I submitted, but I can't seem to figure it out. I think it may be because my league hasn't set the draft order yet. Yes, that would be why. Which, if you do resubmit, no problem. I can have a look at it. But just so you know, I won't have as much context as I typically have when I do a review. So I will be, it is probably better for you to use your review when you have the draft order set, but completely up to you how you want to use it. I just want to make sure I give you the best review possible. Okay. All right, Drizzy Drake, let's have a look. It's a good team, not really much draft capital to write home about, so we're not going to probably focus on the war room for a team like this. Superflex start 10. So, yeah, you've only got Stroud at quarterback, which is not great. But look at everything else, man. Right now, you're probably starting Stroud, Bijan, Brees, Lamb, London, Loveland. Then you're flexing Burden, Judkins, Thomas, Kyle Pitts. So you could certainly, tear down from CD or Bijan to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. Maybe you could use Kyle Pitts. What's up, Jamie? Is there a way to automatically set the draft order, or is it always manual? What do you mean by that? Can you clarify what you mean? Do you mean like without waiting for the commissioner to do it? I don't think so, if that's what you're asking. But it's a good team, ATL. It really is. It's a good team. I would probably give you a B+ grade as of today. Still some improvements that we can make, obviously. I do think that you are... I'd call you more of a sleeper right now than a true contender, just until you figure out that quarterback room. Untouchables are Bijan Robinson. We may look at tearing down from him if we can find the right deal. Same thing with CeeDee Lamb. As far as holds on your team right now, I would hold Mac Jones at this point. I would hold Luther Burden. Those are my two favorite holds on your squad. Players that I would drop. Plenty of names that you could drop on this team, including Darren Waller, Marshawn Lloyd, Jimmy Horn Jr., Savion Williams. I would comfortably drop pretty much all of those names. Not that I don't believe they're talented. There's probably just better names to have on your team at this point through the waiver wire, or if not, you can use those names to clear space for your rookie draft picks. Okay, yes. So Malik Willis, my friend, Malik Willis is on your waiver wire, right? There could be a big answer to your problems. How much fab do you have? Do you have $100 fab? Spend $100 fab. Add Malik Willis to your waiver wire. We've also got George Halani here, which is worth picking up just to see what happens with the Seahawks. But honestly, in this position, someone earlier on the stream asked me this. They said, would you trade for fab to get Malik Willis if he was on the waiver wire? So let's just say you have $100. In your specific situation, looking at your waiver wire, it is so naked that Malik Willis is going... There are going to be multiple people in this scenario who bid $100 for Malik Willis. So I would be willing to sell, do I sell Kamani Vidal for $30 fab? Do I sell Theo Johnson for $30 fab? Dante Thornton for $20. Joe Mixon for $15. I think it's worth selling one of these players you're not that interested in to just basically confirm that you can grab Malik Willis. So then you end up with 115 fab or whatever the case is, and you know you can guarantee get that player on your team. Your situation, ATL, Malik Willis is the perfect answer. I mean, quite frankly, if you're able to grab Malik Willis, I don't think I'm making another move. I would go into the season with this roster, see if Stroud and Willis can be enough for me. Because if you make that one simple move, you start Stroud, Willis, Bijan, Brees, CD, London, Loveland. That is 7. And then you are flexing Luther, Bryan, and Judkins. That's great. On your bench, you've got Kyle Pitts. Obviously, if injuries occur, you still have the flexibility of tearing down from a Bijan or a CeeDee Lamb. But personally, that's my favorite idea. I will explore a CeeDee Lamb tear down for you, though, okay, to try and accomplish the goal that you have there. You need to be aware, ATL, that CeeDee Lamb is not netting the same return in a tear down as he used to. So it won't be as easy as it has been in the past. But let's have a look at some potential CeeDee Lamb partners. So we need someone who has an excess of quarterbacks. How about the Trevor Lawrence owner? Can you get Trevor Lawrence and Marvin Harrison? That's actually awesome. Trevor Lawrence plus Marvin Harrison. That is probably the best trade I have concocted today. And I think that's legitimately possible. CeeDee Lamb's still a 1-2 player turn. You know, ask yourself, if Trevor Lawrence is going 3rd, 4th round in a startup, Marvin's going 5th, 6th, have you seen someone ever trade their 112 in a startup for a 3rd and 5th? Absolutely. So it's possible. Shoot, I'd be willing to send back your... what did you have? You had the 207. I would add the 207 there easily to make that deal happen. So that move is awesome. There's a ton of upside baked in for you too. But let's keep searching. I love Brock Purdy, but this guy just does not have the depth to sell. Where are all the quarterbacks? Is someone hoarding the quarterbacks or something? I think I'm losing my damn mind. Okay. Well, that's not ideal. Okay. So first off, like any deal where you get, you know, Dak Prescott plus George Pickens for CD is a no-brainer. This is probably going to be more expensive than the Trevor Marvin Harrison deal, but I would totally be willing to do that if you need to include the 207. If the 207 isn't enough and you need to include a 27-second or the 208 you have, I'd be willing to do that as well. That definitely kills 2 birds with 1 stone, as it were. Let me just look one more time. I feel like who is hoarding the quarterbacks for real? I would do, no, it's not going to work. Brock Purdy, Zay Flowers is interesting to me. Brock Purdy plus Zay Flowers. I think that's possible. That seems relatively reasonable, given both of their ADPs. I don't think you can get T-Mac or Olave in that deal, but obviously I would love to. I just want to be as realistic as I can be. Jordan Love, Nico Collins. Jordan Love plus Nico Collins. That seems very realistic. I don't like it, but it seems very doable to me. I don't want Baker AJ. I don't want to go that direction, so those are your main options if you're going to try and tear down. It's weird. Like, I'm trying to figure out why all the quarterbacks are being held. But, again, if you're able to get Malik Willis, then you don't need to worry about any of this. You can go into the season with the team that you have and keep flexibility. If you're not, you know, I like a lot of these deals for CD. I think the Trevor Marvin Harrison deal is just chef's kiss perfect. Imagine you were able to do this and you were able to add Malik Willis. I mean, you would have a starting lineup of Trevor Lawrence, Malik Willis. Stroud becomes your quarterback 3 probably, right? Then you're starting Bijan Breece. It's not CeeDee Lamb anymore. It is, though, Drake London, Marvin Harrison, Colson Loveland. Then you're flexing, again, Burden, Thomas, Judkins. So I like those deals the best. And I hope that's helpful. But I feel like that's a very actionable review. And exactly what I would do if I put myself in your shoes. So thanks for letting me look at the squad. Truly appreciate it. Shanzi, this might be the last review of the day. Let me know if you're in the chat, Shanzi. The Jaden says Jimmy G or Zach Wilson or Will Levis. Is that a real question or are we trolling? Is there a fourth option? And is the fourth option, like, can I choose to just keep the free roster spot? I don't know. Will Levis, I guess. Can't see Jimmy G or Zach Wilson being starters. Same for Will, but yeah. Okay, Sean. Let's jump in here. Appreciate you. Let me double check one thing. Did you buy a Pro Pass in the last couple of weeks? Nope. That's okay. Okay. All right. Shanzi, this is a Superflex Start 9. Your team name is Neighborhood Watch. Superflex Start 9 is a smaller format, so depth doesn't matter as much as some of these other teams that we've looked at today. You are currently ranked 3rd in this league. The site has your quarterbacks ranked 6th, running backs 8th, wide receivers 4th, and tight ends 3rd. He said, fellas, Buddy and I co-manage this team, and we wiggled our way into some picks and young talent. We like the idea of getting 2 wide receivers in this draft and stacking that room, but having a hard time figuring out what to do at running back. Okay. All right, let's figure that out together then. You have the 102, 103, 110, and you do have your first in 2027. So that's, yeah, that's good. That's a great amount of picks to work with there. The 102, 103, if your goal is to add receiver, then you could absolutely accomplish that with those picks this year. Okay. Team is Jackson Dart, Justin Herbert, Henderson, Tootin, Neighbors, McMillan, Loveland. And then you are flexing, hard to say, Travis Hunter maybe, Jonathan Brooks if he's healthy. The flexes certainly aren't your strong point at this present moment in time. It's a young team, so you certainly don't have to go all in if things don't pan out. I would say this is definitely a in or out type of pathway. You can go into the season trying to compete, and if it doesn't work, you can very quickly go out because you have your picks in 2027, so you control your future. Your overall team grade as of today, I kind of feel like this is missing a little bit of that top end talent at running back. I'll go B-. Don't love the quarterback 3 situation either. Untouchables on your team. That would be Malik Neighbors. That's really the only one. Your main holds, Travis Hunter, Jonathan Brooks. Those are names that I would absolutely be holding on every roster that I have them in. I wish people would sell me more Travis Etienne in my leagues, but they are Travis Hunter in my leagues, but they won't. If you want to drop somebody, you can drop Xavier Legette is the #1 name I would be looking to drop there. Outside of Legette, Jatavion Sanders, maybe. I mean, maybe Jatavion Sanders you can drop if you need to clear up some space. Ooh, another waiver wire with our guy, Malik Willis. What can you do to get Malik Willis on the squad? Keaton Mitchell also on the waiver wire, along with Jordan James. You've got some great waiver wire options there. Would be curious to see what Jalen Naylor can do after he got that contract in Vegas. So lots of interesting waiver options there for you. It's a 12 team as well, so I'm surprised some of those names are out there. Those are all must rosters, in my opinion. But let's jump to the War Room. So a team like this, at the 102 and the 103, with both of these picks, you're going to get one of the big three wide receivers, right? Is that Mendoza, or sorry, is that Tate, Tyson Lemon? You're going to add both of two of the three is probably the best way to say that. Two of the three you're going to add. I might spin the picks a different way if it was my team. I'm always just trying to win leagues, so I'm a little bit less focused on like making sure I have all young players all around me. At the 110, you are in another spot to add probably receiver with like Concepcion, Boston Cooper. But maybe that's where Pricing and Coleman are after the draft as well. That's a possibility. Now you can also trade these picks for star, running back, or wide receivers, right? Both of those picks are right in that range. And you can also trade the 110 for vet running back or receivers. And I'll show you some examples of what that could look like. I would lean more the trade route. I'm just a sucker for like, if I've got the assets to go out and contend, let me do what I can to put my team in a position to go out and contend, right? But I know not everybody is like that. Some people like to build through the youth, and like I get that. But I'm going to just put 102 or 103 for these picks because I don't want to repeat options. But I think James Cook pretty instantly. Jonathan Taylor. I think Ken Walker. I wouldn't do the 102 for Jonathan Taylor or Ken Walker. I would do the 103 for those guys. And if you do the 10, so I guess I should be a little more specific with these in particular, these running backs. The 103 for Cook is fine straight up. If you send the 102, you might be able to get something small back. Let's see who has the 102. The 102 is owned by... Okay, it's not going to tell me. Let's see. We've got the 102 on... My gosh, come on. Is it the last team? Am I stupid? We have the 102. I'm looking for James Cook. I am stupid. Okay. The James Cook team has DJ Moore. That's kind of it's kind of perfect, actually. Can we grab DJ Moore in this deal as well and send them? I like to send them like a 27-second in that deal. That would be awesome. Okay, again, 102 or 103. You know, in that range, we are looking at, again, Chris Olave. We're looking at George Pickens. We're looking at Nico Collins. I mean, there's possibility that at that 102 spot, it's unlikely, but I've seen it. Drake London is in play there for some people. Maybe you add something onto that to make that work. At the 110, DJ Moore is prime range here. I would also say like Jalen Waddle. What's with the Y? I also love Javonte Williams here. I love Kyron Williams here. Who has ever spelled their name with an O? Like, seriously, what are we even doing there? This is Saquon Barkley range for some owners. That's probably the lowest I would go. Otherwise, I'd keep the pick. But let me just paint you a picture here, okay? So you add, let's say you add James Cook and DJ Moore with the 102 and the second and 27. You come back with the 103 and you add a Chris Olave. And then the 110 is Javonte Williams. Just a hypothetical world, right? All of a sudden, you've got a team of Dart, Herbert, James Cook, Javonte Williams. You don't even have to rely on those two running backs that you have right now. Neighbors, T-Mac, Loveland. And then your two flexes are Olave and DJ Moore. Travis Hunter's on the bench. Henderson's on the bench. Tootin's on the bench. Gadsden's on the bench. You have ultimate flexibility. You have your picks in 2027. To me, that is like the perfect plan. Like, but again, I'm a sucker for, if I can win right now, I can make the playoffs. I'm probably going to try and do it. But yeah, that's what I would do with the squad. I appreciate you, Sean. Thanks for showing love to the channel. Thanks for showing support to the land community. I appreciate y'all big time being here and hanging out. To everybody who made the Kratos League, we will be drafting together on Monday night, and I look forward to seeing you then. And yeah, outside of that, feel free to let me know if you guys have any questions about landleagues.com. Definitely go check it out. A couple new features over there on landleagues.com. And enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you guys soon. Nothing but love.